Hey everyone, new patch notes format. We're going to be going over all the changes happening in patch 14.11, and we're going to go over the summary right now and go over how they are going to affect the game. So right now they're buffing trick shots. Yasuo, Gnar, Syndra, Lissandra built different Grim Harvest, Porcelain Crown, and Dragon Lord Crown. Trick shots have been taking the back seat last patch, even though they were super popular like in every other patch so far. Lissandra got changed a bunch, and I want to do a quick data check on Lissandra on teamfight.lol under the champions section. You can see that she's at a 4.07 right now. For legendaries, it's a bit below average. There are obviously ones that are worse. Xayah getting buffed from the trick shot buff. Hui, they always like keeping all these econ legendaries under control a bit, so maybe that's why Hui is allowed to be kind of a bit lower. But then Lissandra getting a small buff. So built different, complete garbage. It was averaging a 5 point something. No one ever took it in the recent patch. Grim Harvest, Reapers have been taking the back seat. Porcelain Crown, I'm surprised by this. And Dragon Lord Crown, while the Dragon Lord trait is really good, the Crown, I think it was underperforming a bit. If we type in all the crowns over here, scroll to the bottom, we have Dragon Lord and Porcelain kind of near the bottom-ish there. Now onto the nerfs, we have Darius, Garen, Nautilus, Lucky Paws, and 2 Healthy. The Garen augment, if you guys are on the website bunnymuffins.lol/meta for the tier list, you would know that both Garen and Lucky Paws are absolutely incredible comps right now. 2 Healthy, very solid if you get it too. So all these nerfs kind of make a bit of sense to me. Darius, I have to see. But Rotating Shop and Chapter 2 Pass. The Rotating Shop arrives with patch 14.11. To learn more about it, click here. I've heard mixed feedback about this. I'm not really too much of a shopper, but let's see what they have in store. Prestige, Chibi Dragonmancer Yasuo, and Chibi Divine Sword Aurelia are swinging by this patch, but you'll also get to meet the new Chibi Battle Academia Ezreal on his home turf, the Ultimate Showdown Arena. Oh, are they bringing back old Chibis? I kind of don't like that. I thought they were kind of exclusive or like time exclusive type of thing, but Chibi Ezreal, gonna look pretty cool. Inkborn Fables Chapter 2 Pass. This is going to have a bunch of arenas, 2 arenas, 700 treasure tokens, realm crystals, little legends. Oh, quite a few of them. I think my favorite one out of these might be the Koi Hundun and maybe the Dowsy. Bunch of emotes, shards, and booms. And now we're on to the 5-year bash. In case y'all didn't know, TFT is turning 5 years old. That is wild. That means I've been making videos for 4.5 years, maybe 4.75. I forgot exactly when I started. It was towards the end of set 1. But this is going to be starting in next patch 14.12 on June 12th and ends with the conclusion of patch 14.14. There's going to be a ton of free loot in this, and you guys can check out the article on the website here. I'll leave a link in the description below. But essentially, they're giving a ton of free stuff to everyone who's been playing. Next up, we have ranked changes. TFT players who are Master Plus can now queue with one other player who is within 400 LP of them. Wow, that is very interesting. They used to restrict queuing in Master Plus so that people don't like abuse the queue system in some way. But it was kind of weird how you couldn't play with your friends even a little casually. Maybe they should restrict this once you get to maybe 1000 LP, 1500 LP. I don't know what the cutoff is, but everyone who's hard stuck Master 0 LP, like, yeah, just let them duo queue with people, you know? Middle East ME servers. The ME servers opens up its digital doors on June 25th, 2024. I wonder if this is related to the Esports World Cup thing. They're like doing 2 big events with the Middle East right now. They're opening a server there and they're hosting the Esports World Cup, which I think is in Riyadh. But qualified accounts can transfer to the server for 1 blue essence, and then it moves back up to the 2600 RP for a one-way transfer. Team Planner, you can now access a Team Planner in TFT mobile lobbies, plan your strategies while queuing up. Very cool change. I'm surprised it wasn't actually in the game already. But let's move on into the large changes, large like our 5-year bash coming in the next patch. Traits from Tickle Shot to Trick Shot, very agreed there. 40 to 55% to 40 to 60% at 4 Trick Shot. Okay, yeah, the 4 Trick Shot build is probably the cooler one, I think. I love Teemo. Teemo's very cool. You run like Sivir, Teemo, Xayah, and Kaisa. AP items on Teemo, AD items on Kaisa, leftovers on Xayah. They hit everyone. Very fun stuff. Units tier 1, Darius ability damage going to be nerfed at 1 and 2 star. Garen mana nerf, not too big. Yasuo passive damage while shielded is going to be bumped down a bit, 40-40-45 to 30-45 set. Whoa, they're making it scale. So maybe there's some reroll faded builds. I think I mentioned this in the past. Ahri plus Yasuo reroll probably would be pretty cool. Units tier 1, Gnar passive maximum stacks 40 to 45. Yeah, the Gnar comp was a bit lacking. It wasn't completely unplayable, but definitely there are better things to go for. Kiana AD 55 to 50. I have heard of the Kiana reroll comp. I think someone sent me a screenshot of their game where they had like some 3-star forecast, but they lost a Kiana reroll. Pretty funny stuff. Units tier 4, Nautilus mana gonna be bumped up a little bit, 160 to 170. Syndra ability starting butterfly is gonna be 7-7-10, 6-6-10, and then ability damage going to be bumped up a tiny bit. What does that actually change? Syndra's been through the meta ringer a few times as of late, most recently resulting in her being slightly weaker than we'd like. With this adjustment, she'll be relatively unchanged at 1 star, but stronger at 2 stars. Okay, yeah, sure, that works. What I'm very surprised about is that pure Syndra Faded builds, while decent, they haven't been anything insane in terms of like a solo carry. You always need like something helping Syndra. I guess that's true for most comps nowadays though. Actually, no, that's not. There's some metas where like one unit in a team just completely dominates, but Syndra definitely needs like some sort of supporting cast. Units tier 5 Lissandra ability damage going to be buffed up a little bit at 1 and 2 star. Now that she's not throwing 3-item tanks to the backline like their sports balls in a sports ball reference, we're able to fill her porcelain cup with even more damage. Okay, very nice. Augments. All right, let's check this out. Cybernetic, Bulk, and Uplink, all ranks are no longer offered on stage 2-1. Ooh, I actually disagree with this. I like this option every now and then. It's never going to be great, but I like using it as a worst case scenario if I want to win streak, but I don't have any good items to build. And then you kind of just spread out the love in the beginning. Obviously, there are better combat augments to take. I'm not saying that's not true, but I thought there are some interesting things you could do, especially on some of the portals which give a lot of items at the start, or whenever you get like a 5-item drop at the start of the game. Built Different 2 bonus HP is going to be buffed up in later stages. Built Different 2 AS also going to be buffed up in later stages. It seems like the early stages aren't really being changed that much, so it's kind of like a scaling buff. But yeah, Built Different was pretty bad last patch. You can check the data yourself, or just take my word on it. Grim Harvest, Reaper, Get a Kha'Zix, and Kindred is being changed to Get a Kindred and a Yone. Wow. Okay, maybe Yone's back with this. Now, they probably need something else, but if you get this augment, you could probably force it, I'm hoping. Grim Harvest, Reaper, Omnivamp per stack, 4 to 5%. Kabuko, Lucky Paws, 250 to 225%. 2 healthy bonus health, 99 to 90. Shouldn't really change that much, still probably going to be pretty good. Dragon Lord Crown is getting changed to Get a Janna, and a Diana, so they've changed a lot of crowns before. I believe they adjusted like Behemoth Crown and some other crowns that give 2 units now instead of 1, so you have some crowns that only give 1 unit, like this one, Mythic Crown, you only get a Nico. But if you check out like Behemoth Crown, where is that? It's still bad. Holy cow, you get a Yorick and a Thresh. How is this augment still bad? It seems like you get 5 gold worth of units that are relevant to a trait. I saw some high-level player play this when they first changed Behemoth Crown, and when he used it, he dominated everything. It looked so smooth to me, so I thought since that moment it would be in a like even a above average spot, but apparently it's still the worst augment according to the data. Final Ascension is no longer offered on stage 2-1. Porcelain Crown, Get a Lux is being changed to Get an Amumu. I'd honestly rather get a Lux, you know, like when I'm going Porcelain, I'm going for a pure Lux build. Yes, Amumu does help, but I want to get that 3-star Lux ASAP. So let's remember this. Porcelain Crown right now in Master Plus, it is at a 4.68. Let's see how much it changes. Like obviously Amumu is better, I'm not saying it's not, but normally when I take this, I'm trying to get like Lux 3, you know? Artifacts, Curse Blade has been added. Curse Blade attack speed 15%, MR 20, and attacks reduce a target's max health by 3%. 13 attacks on the same target reduce their star level by 1. Diamond Hands health 400 to 300, so Diamond Hands getting changed a little bit, a small nerf. Curse Blade should be really good on anyone who has like a ton of attack speed, so anyone who builds Rage Blade, wow, on Bard, imagine like double Rage Blade, Curse Blade, Bard. That'd be pretty a funny sight to see. Support items, Moonstone, Renewer, Shielding, 100 plus 150 health per stage to 60 to 50 health per stage. Moonstone, Renewer, Max Shield, 400 to 360, and then Needlessly Big Gem, 250 to 300. Another thing I'm wondering about Curse Blade is how does it work on like Trick Shot? Anyone know? Does it apply on hits? Like they kind of got rid of on hits for that reason because it was kind of confusing in terms of the rules there, but it must be written somewhere. I just forgot. Augments putting the scare factor back into Ghostly 8. Ghostly damage increase per Spectre. They spelled this wrong, right? 510 1632 to 510 1636. Wow, 8 Ghostly. Was it bad? Let's check. I'm gonna go to the traits and then type in Ghostly. Whoops, that is the wrong letters. 8 Ghostly's at a 3.72, but if we compare it to all the other 8 traits, let's look at like some of the top placements here. I guess there aren't really many of them. There's Bruiser, Ghostly. Are there any other ones? Arcanist. Huh, I wonder if it actually did need the buff. I guess it's kind of hard to hit though, because you need a lot of +1 Ghostlies. I think Arcanist might be easier to hit. I'm not exactly sure. I think it's around the same. hold up. So Arcanist has 7 units. Ghostly has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, Ghostly's harder to hit, so it should always be better than 8 Arcanists, right? But compared to Bruiser, it wasn't that far off. But I like Ghostly, so I'm all for Ghostly buffs. Units, Kha'Zix's ability AD ratio is going to be bumped up at 3-star. Sivir AD buff, 3-star. Oh yeah, I complained about this in the previous patch preview. There are a lot of 1-cost rerolls that aren't really that viable. It's really just Kog'Maw, right? So I'm hoping there are more options available, and they are listening to that, I guess. They must have some recording device in my room because I complained about that before. Aatrox, is Aatrox going to be buffed as well at 3-star and 2-star? Senna also at 3-star for AD ratio and AD buff. And then Diana's going to get buffed up at 3-star. So they're buffing a ton of 3-stars. Finally, there it is, Yone. I was looking for this all patch. When I first saw the Grim Reaper change, I was thinking it's not enough, but they are buffing Yone's ability shield and ability damage. Only at 3-star though, so you can't quite stabilize that hard at 2-star. But once you get the 3-star, I imagine it's going to be hitting pretty hard. Kayn HP 1100 to 1150, and then now onto bug fixes, Burning Truth. More Morellonomicon and Crestus Cinders will now burn for 2% like their tooltip says. PvE monsters now have the intended 140% critical strike damage instead of 150. Wait, that's nothing. Branching out no longer says after 0-player combats. Suspicious Trenchcoat copies now have the proper amount of health and damage from their star level. And then Suspicious Trenchcoat fixed various issues where the copy's health could be inconsistent if they were having their health increased by other sources like Bruiser. Fix the Triangle Shadow on Summoner's Arena. Fix the Poro and Cannon disappearing when zooming in on Bilgewater Bay. Justice is blind. What does that saying mean again? I feel like I learned this in school or something. Fix the Fields of Justice splash icon being blank in loadout. And then Umbral. Umbral will no longer fail to work if the player puts an Umbral emblem on a unit right before combat begins. And then Aurelia's ability now critically strikes at the correct rate. And then start of the game, portals will no longer sometimes fail to work if a player leaves the voting area early. Wait, is that actually true? I thought you couldn't leave or something. Like once you vote, you're stuck there, just like whatever country you're from. All right, let's go back up to the top. Let's go back to the summary. I think like I welcome the trick shot buffs. Built different as well, though. Built different. I don't know why. This thing is either the most OP augment in the game or it's the worst augment in the game. Sometimes it's in between, but very, very rarely. Maybe they need to kind of rework this a little bit. I don't know what they could do though. Maybe give different stats so we get to enjoy the built different type of playstyle, but kind of use it in different ways. Like maybe instead of giving a bunch of attack speed and health, maybe it gives like armor and magic resist and some other offensive stat. Lissandra, probably one of my favorite units in the game this set, getting buffs, but I like the old Lissandra. I'm not a huge fan of the new Lissandra. I thought the old one was really, really cool because you could do kind of cool trick shots with it. Garen and Lucky Paws, yeah, those definitely needed to get fixed. Poor Kabuko, you know. Did they ever touch Nautilus? Let me check again, because I don't remember reading Nautilus. Or was it a small mana change? It probably was one of those. All right, Nautilus mana 160 to 170. Yeah, that's fair. A lot of meta comps were using Nautilus as the main tank. Well, not main tank, as like their main utility tank. It makes sense. I think when the meta snapshot on bunnymuffins.lol/meta, in the top like 10 comps, he was probably in like 4 or 5 of them. I forget the exact numbers, but definitely bookmark that site because we're going to be updating it every single Friday. But yeah, this patch is going to be coming out tomorrow. Pretty small patch, but I'm most excited to be playing some Teemo from the Trick Shot buff. I like making Teemo builds, so if you have any of your favorite Teemo builds, share them down in the comments below. You can use a team builder on teamfight.lol if you really want. Just go to the website, click team builder over here, and you could like share it, screenshot it, do whatever. It's actually pretty cool. Like the screenshot feature, I love it. I don't think other sites really have this, but it saves it in the same format every single time. But that's going to be it for me today. Hopefully you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you all next time.